Hi, my name is Kate Gaertner, and I am the CEO and founder of TripleWin Advisory, which is an insight consultancy on corporate sustainability. I'm introducing a new blog that I wrote today, and it is on common pool resources. So common pool resources, or CPRs, they're defined as free natural resources that are available to anyone to use. But by their very function, when they are used by individuals, they are depleted or degraded over time, so that the enjoyment received from some is more than the enjoyment received from the others that come after them. Common pool resources, CPRs, are typically thought of as free natural resources. So examples of those would be the world's oceans, forests, topsoils, the air that we breathe, right? It's all free. But we have to, the idea is, they're free and no one's really sort of managing them, not individuals per se. So they can be degraded, right? There can be pollutions, there can be overfishing, there can be cutting down the forests, deforestation. The topsoils can be degraded if they're overused, if there's just too much intensity of agriculture, then they could be depleted and not be useful anymore. CPRs can also be man-made things that are free. Some examples of those would be irrigation systems. It could be knowledge, and the internet is also considered a common pool resource. So again, I always ask this question, why should we care? Why is this important? And the fact is, common pool resources are considered one of the most vexing, most challenging, wicked problems that we're facing today as humanity. And the reason why is because it's important for us to understand how to manage these systems so that we don't wreck them forever, so that they can be sustainable indefinitely, so that we can fish and have fish in the oceans for an indefinite period of time, so we can meet our protein needs in that one aspect. We need forests. We can't cut down too many. One for biodiversity issues, right? So lots of biodiversity happens and is part of rainforest systems. But if we cut down too many, they really help. Trees really help regulate the air that we breathe. So taking out CO2 from the air. So they help us live and survive and thrive. So it's important for us to understand how to manage these common pool resources. So the blog goes into some detail on what they are and why they're important. It also talks about one of the key thinkers on CPRs, and that was a political economist, and her name was Elinor Ostrom. She's now passed, but she spent a lot of time on this, and she won a Nobel Prize on her thinking around common pool resources. And she talks a lot about property right systems, a little bit different than private property, but it's in that same vein. So she talks about 4 different types, and she says that common pool resources are not alike. They're not the same, and so they should not be approached the same. But we have to think about applying one or a combination of private right regimes or private right systems to the management and care of them. So the blog goes into that. And then really the blog ends and comes around and says, listen, whether we see it this way or not, climate change is a common pool resource problem, and we have to figure out how to deal with it. And one of the first ways to do that is to recognize it as such, that it is a CPR. And that happened with the Paris Climate Accord in 2015, where almost all of the countries on the planet said, yes, we agree. This is a big issue. We've got to start dealing with it, and we've got to take action on a national level, even lower than that, within nations, a national level, a regional level, and a global scale level. Let's all work together to try to figure this out. And that's really what Eleanor Ostrom talked about, which is it's got to be tackled at various levels and in various ways. So take a read of the blog on Comable Resources. Let me know your thoughts. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next week. Thanks so much.